A long, long time ago, it was a planet called Earth. It was an old continent, the master of the universe, because it was the only one who could give life to all beings. But his soul was so sad because he failed in having a companion to take care of the planet on his side. One day, he called the 4 good fairies that helped him at the helm of the kingdom and asked them to give him a wife. Spring, summer, autumn and winter, because it's them we are talking about, have advised each other and finally give life to Princess Nature, which resembled to each of them but inherited the king's love for creatures. For many years, she grew quiet, enjoying all the beauty of the planet and in particular every small thing that beings were doing. She walked into the forest every day to admire the trees, small animals, collecting flowers and closely supervise everything to go well. One morning, she noticed that the flowers had a strange color, no birds singing happily, and the grass started to prostrate. Her heart began to suffer from grief. With each passing day, she was getting worse and worse, and the sadness became increasingly ill. King Earth called for the fairies and the doctor that told him everything was lost. Only if a miracle was going to accomplish. Only if. Meanwhile, at another end of the continent was living in solitude Frank the Frog. He remained alone in this part of the world because the pollution was already installed. People from here had moved to another planet and he was left to make order among the waste. All day he was squeezing things and sorting them. Some were discarded while other, more numerous, would be transported to another area to be recycled. He had never met people because he was sent here since he was very small, and he seemed surprised when he saw all sorts of objects because he had no idea what were their worth. One evening he went to bed early because he was tired and fell asleep immediately. He had a strange dream about Princess Nature that he did not know, but whom he had heard many good things. It seemed that she lived in an eternal sleep, of which no longer has the chance to awaken. The goblin that told the story guided him to go to her, because it seemed that he had been chosen to help her recover. But there was one thing needed, the only one that by his magic could awaken her to life. In the morning, when Frank woke up, was surprised by the strange dream, and he remembered every bit of it. He also remembered about the strange object, but he did not know exactly what to look for. He went to the landfill as usual and began to sort things out. It wasn't lucky in the first day, but the next one he continued to search. Under a pile of waste, he found something. He did not know yet what it was, but it seemed to be something magical. It was green, tender, and smelled fresh. He thought of a minute, and he remembered that when he was a little, his parents told him about the environment in which they had grown up and lived, but which was destroyed because of pollution created by humans. It means that the object was a plant. Yes, that it was. And it was the only one making it priceless. Frank didn't hesitate any longer. He put the plant in a bag and went to the other end of the continent to save Princess Nature. If he had to listen to his dream and the goblin in his sleep, then he was the only one who could save her. There was no time to lose. Arriving at the palace, Frank found the princess immersed in eternal sleep, and King Earth, the 4 seasons, and the doctor surrounding her with eyes full of tears. The frog saw his dream coming true. He remembered the planet he had and the plant, but did not know yet if it was the magical object that the princess would need to wake up. He opened the bag and gently pulled out the fragile plant and set it on the princess' chest. She opened her eyes and looked at each one as it would have been for the first time. Princess was reborning. Palace began to come alive. Fairies were thinking the planet will need more plants, but they could not be found only if every creature would contribute to collect the waste that covered the earth. All of them had a new mission now. Nature had to take care of plants. The seasons had to follow the natural course without changes, doctor to ensure the health of all the inhabitants, Frank to recycle, and Earth to protect them all. But they were very happy. They worked together as a team, and the results were seen each day. The planet was saved, and they lived happily ever after. And today they are still recycling the waste, helped this time by the people who have returned slowly to the blue and beautiful planet Earth.